It is the Matt McNeil Show. Nice to have you with us today. 952-946-6205. So after the election, I had one of my friends, 89-year-old dad. They posted something to her, and she shared it with me, and I cleaned it up a little bit. It was a little, just kind of a father to a daughter thing, but I think it made a lot of sense. And this was the post. Number one, take a deep breath. 2, keep a stiff upper lip. 3, be ready to support everyone you know who is Black, Hispanic, Native American, poor, LGBTQIA+, an immigrant, a woman, or pregnant. It'll be worse for them. 4, keep doing whatever it is you need to do that helps you get through the night and helps keep the fear away. 5, keep a low profile. People with guns, no morals, and few brains are now running the show, and that'll be a problem for the rest of us. 6, remember those things. Remember these things too shall pass. And 7, survive and endure. This is going to be chaotic, so keep yourself safe. Number 5 particularly upset a few conservatives when I said keep a low profile. People with guns and no morals and few brains are now running the show. And they said, that's just not true, Matt. I can show you threats I've gotten. And it's funny because when I contradict them, what their mentality is, well, someone should shoot you. Like, okay, thank you for contradicting me. My God, where did I ever get that idea? I've actually had that happen where I brought this up and said, no, this is really going on. And they said, well, maybe you deserve it. And you're like, wow, really? There is an angriness in the right, which I just don't understand. There's a meme that's going around right now on social media. In 2024, only 2 states voted unanimously for one of the candidates. The first one is Massachusetts, which voted for Kamala Harris unanimously. Every county in the state voted for Harris. First in education, second in healthcare, first in quality of life, first in test scores, top 10 least poverty in the nation. The state that voted unanimously for Trump was Oklahoma. 44th in education, 49th in healthcare, 44th in quality of life, 50th in test scores, top 10 worst in poverty. I don't know what you do when you're in a state like that, and you can see that the Republicans, who have basically been in charge for decades, have failed you spectacularly, and yet you still are terrified of voting against a Republican. I can't help you. But a lot of what this is based on is hatred and anger and fear, and that is what this is scary. And that's why that point in that list is very valid, is because there's a lot of people out there where hate and anger is their entire shtick. And we're going to force you to do this. And this is why they're, by the way, have you noticed how many of them are somewhat incensed when you dog on Trump still now today? It's like, he won. You need to be nice to him now. Screw that. He's a jackass. There you go. And they were like, grr, grr. They're angry. This weekend, and religious content, you do or don't do whatever it is you do or don't want to do. I'm not here to convert anyone. I'm just talking about things from my own perspective. I'm a Christian. We had our service dealing with the Gospel of Mark, the fishes and loaves story, which appears in all the Gospels. And reminder, the Gospels are the actual story of Jesus. The guy, the Christ in Christian? Yeah, that guy. These are the books. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John should matter to you because this is the story of Jesus. And for a lot of conservative Republican Americans, they don't care about those books because those books contradict what their political narrative is. They look at what Pontius Pilate did and said, let the prisoner go. Hey, that's our guy. That's what they want to do. Barabbas, I mean, it's good around Easter. You'll get the story. Never mind. But that is they try desperately to find passages in Romans and Timothy and Leviticus to basically back them up and ignore any teachings that basically they don't like. And that is the modern Republican. And I just don't like that as a Christian. The fishes and loaves story is truly one of the better stories there because here he is. He doesn't care who's in the crowd. He doesn't care who the people are. He just feeds them. He just feeds them. Fishes and loaves. Everyone eats. Ta-da. Boom. Gospel of Matthew. I've talked about the Gospel of Matthew quite a bit. There's a little passage in there. It's a good read about, Jesus telling you directly that you have to feed the hungry, take care of the sick, offer shelter for the homeless, visit the prisoners. give people, welcoming strangers from strange lands. Those are the things you have to do. And the Republicans frantically run away from those teachings because they're not really Christians. They're Trumpians who basically bastardize the Bible for their own use. And it makes me mad. Makes me really mad. Because as I've talked about before, I look at my faith as something that's beauty. It's love, caring, compassion, acceptance. Jesus went out there and preached to the margins of society, the people that were being persecuted, the people on the outside. And no, their version of Jesus is he's a big bully that likes to push down, gay people and smite people who he disagrees with. That was not who he was. It was not. But this is where you guys are at. The real failure of the left and this country will be if the rest of us fall down into that rabbit hole, the rabbit hole of hate and anger. I have said it's going to be interesting, especially we talk about the stuff like the farmers and stuff like this. It's going to be really interesting when all of a sudden karma hits you guys. Now, I am not for mass deportations. You guys are. You're the ones that voted for it. You're going to get a big surprise here. I'm not going to be feeling too sorry for the farmer who basically all of a sudden can't pick his crops. I'll feel sorry for the immigrant who is doing this labor at a lower rate than we would do it for and is now running for their life because the ICE Gestapo is after them. I'm not cheering on your pain. I'm sitting back and bracing myself and preparing myself for you to experience what you have done to yourselves. But here's one thing I won't do. I'm not going to enjoy watching you suffer. Unlike you, I actually care about fellow human beings. So I'm not going to enjoy watching you suffer, but I'm sure not going to allow you to ignore the realities of who did this to you. Look in the mirror.